ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ। ਮੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ ਮਨਵੀਰ ਕੌਰ ਬਰਾੜ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਹਰਸੁਖ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ-ਬਹੁਤ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ। ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊ ਕਰਨ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਪਾਰਟਿਸਪੈਂਟ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਪਾਰਟਿਸਿਪੇਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੈ ਮਿਸ ਐਂਡ ਮਿਸਿਸ ਪੰਜਾਬਨ USA, ਮਿਸ ਐਂਡ ਮਿਸਿਸ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਗਲੋਬਲ USA, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿਮੀ ਵਰਮਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਦੇ ਅੰਡਰ। Hi and welcome to the show.
Hello.
So first of all, let's start with your introduction, your name and what pageant you're participating in.
Hi everyone, namaste. I'm Siddhi Kolapkar. I'm participating in Miss India Global USA.
All right, Siddhi. So what do you do professionally?
So professionally, I recently graduated with my master's in business administration, so MBA, in information systems, which was only in June. So now I'm, trying to further my journey into something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to be part of this beauty pageant?
I think ever since I was a little girl, I always enjoyed playing with dolls, and I had this crazy obsession with Cinderella. Like, if you ask my parents, they would obviously tell you, they'd be like, oh my God, this girl is obsessed.
Yeah.
I loved like dolls and princesses, and I think like one day I wanted to feel that way. Like I wanted to be confident enough and so in love with myself and in my own skin that I wanted to put myself out there and accept who I am for myself.
And I think that's very important, right?
Yes.
To accept who you are and be confident about it, you know. So how does this pageant's going to impact your life? Have you thought about it or not?
Yeah, I definitely have. I think growing up in America, I was a first generation Indian American, and I was born in India, but I came here at the age of 5. So I was, like in the middle, it was like the monkey in the middle right there. So when I went to school, obviously to me, I was an American, but it was hard for me to feel like I was accepted into this culture. So growing up, I always felt like in some way that I'm an outcast.
Yeah.
That I didn't fit these beauty standards, that somehow I look different, and like all the popular and beautiful girls are not people who look like me, you know? So I think for me, I want to like let girls who also look like me, who wear brown skin, of immigrant origin, to feel comfortable, to feel like, oh, you can do this too. Like you can walk a pageant, you can be in love with yourself. Like that's completely fine. So that's my whole purpose with that.
No, that's very inspiring of you to say that. On that note, what kind of message you want to give to the younger generation who might be looking at you after, doesn't matter if you win the crown or not, right? But they might be looking up to you. What kind of message you want to give out them?
I just want girls to feel like they can do it. Whatever it is they want to do, I want them to know you can do it. Like, if you think about me, I don't have a fashion background at all, I loved fashion ever since I was growing up, but, I have a background in information systems. So career-wise, yes, it's different. But, my parents have always been so supportive, and they've always been like, do whatever it is you feel like doing. So I think it's important for little girls, like young girls, to know that if there's something you want to do, if you want to, feel confident in your own skin, if you want to walk a pageant, there's nothing that can stop you.
Yeah.
You're unstoppable at the end of the day.
That's true. So what other hobbies you have?
So I honestly am such a foodie. I love going to restaurants.
That's my favorite topic.
Yes, I love food. So I have an Instagram page, which is a vegetarian in LA. So I'm a vegetarian.
Okay.
And I like going to new restaurants around Los Angeles and trying like their vegetarian items and rating them. And I also like cooking a lot.
Okay.
So I think my hobbies are just revolved around like food and cooking, and I think like food brings people together, and it's a way to express your love. So that's just my way.
So since you mentioned you're vegetarian, what is the reason for you to be vegetarian?
So I think personally for me, I believe in the morality of being vegetarian. And, to each their own. Like, I know everybody has different opinions, and that's completely fine. But I just personally rather be vegetarian. Like, I'm just way too emotional to see myself eating meat.
I know. Okay.
I do eat eggs. I think it's very hard to get around not being able to do that.
Yeah.
But yes, I am very vegetarian just for that reason.
Okay. I'm sure you get to, I don't know if you do, but when I came to US, it was such a big issue for me to find vegetarian food out
Yes.
there. I'm talking about it only 11 years ago, by the way, but it was very difficult. And to people who I used to explain that I'm a vegetarian, they used to ask me, so what's your protein intake? Do you get that question a lot?
I do. So honestly, I think we undermine the Indian diet so much. I think there are so many sources of protein in Indian food. All the dals, the lentils.
Yeah.
You know, it has so much more protein than you can imagine. And what's crazy is the American society is kind of catching on to that now. You know, they're like, oh,
so many vegan restaurants now. And,
they have lentil soup, you know, which is technically just dal for us.
Yeah.
So I just think that for them, it's a new concept, but for us, generations and generations have been doing it.
Yeah.
So I think it's just time to kind of give more credit to our roots.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I used to tell, if you're born in India, you don't have to have protein intake from meat only. There's so many other sources of protein. We are very blessed as Indians to have such a variety of food, right?
Exactly.
So, do you know also how to cook?
Yes, I do. I love to cook, and I love to feed other people more than cook for myself.
So sweet.
Yeah, that's my love language for sure.
Oh, that's nice. All right. So before we end this, do you have a message to the women who are watching you, younger generation, older generation, any woman? I think I already said the crown is not important, right?
Yes.
Your representation on the stage is itself it's a huge victory, right? Mm-hmm. So do you want to say any few words to the world out there who's watching you?
Yes. If you are a little girl, just remember you are beautiful. Remember to be confident in your own skin. And just know that you too can also be your own princess. You don't need the title. You are your own queen.
All right. Yes. It's very nice meeting you.
Very
and
nice
thank you
meeting
so
you
much
as well.
for the show.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.